Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for your time to attend this experience session organized by SAP. My name is Julie Minamiura, and this afternoon, together with John Go, we are going to show you how the SAP SuccessFactors perform and reward solution for our HR solution can benefit the SMB business. The agenda today is very simple. We'll go through how HR needs to rethink its strategies to support today's business. We'll introduce this solution and how it has benefited other customers. And we'll give you the value of why you need to consider this solution today. We'll also do a simple demonstration so that you can see how the system looks like from a user's experience. And we'll end off with the next steps. Change is in the air for HR today because of the rapidly changing business landscape. Today, we are dealing with fast-growing businesses all around us, and competitiveness is on top of everybody's head. More so for SMB businesses because of the lack of resources, and very often in new industries, competitiveness would really drive the survival of the SMB business. And today, more and more diverse workforce is in our organization, and that is a very huge task on the management of businesses as well as the HR department to engage and manage multiple generations within the workforce. We also need to look into HR processes to try and simplify and standardize these processes to make sure that there is efficiency in running the business and engaging its workforce. Many companies are also dealing with part-time workers, just-in-time workforce, contingent labor. So how the HR department as well as management engage these part-time workers would also drive the growth of the business. And talent management is always a struggle for any company because talented people will bring even more value to the business if we engage them in the correct way. But finding these talents are always a challenge, and retaining them is even more difficult because if they are talented, obviously they're passionate people, and passionate people needs to have a career and growth path within that organization, or else they'll just leave. And so faced with all these changes and pressures from businesses, as well as internal, how can HR department bring value to help the business grow? HR can respond to these pressures in multiple ways. Firstly, to look into its existing HR processes and go on a simplification roadmap. How each process can be simplified by cutting down redundant data collection as well as multiple redundant approval chains. Modernization of manual processes is also important, as manual processes are prone to error and risk and may not be accurate. HR department today needs actionable insights into how they can work with the workforce in order to bring the best out of them. Employee engagement is also a very big topic. As we have discussed before, many people are now very mobile in the way they work, in that they could easily quit the job and find the next one within a very short time. And therefore, employee engagement is so crucial for businesses to ensure its health in terms of performance and productive workforce, as well as maintaining that employee satisfaction. Process efficiency obviously is one area where HR departments need to spend time looking into. So today, for SMB customers, a lot of time the HR departments are relying on manual processes as well as paper-based systems to keep track of who they have in their organization. This is time-consuming and prone to error. And you absolutely do not need to bear with a paper-based system because technology has caught up. SAP has invested a lot of money to go into R&D to help to bring this innovation to all businesses, including the SMB market segment. And today we will learn a little bit more about how this solution can bring value to you without breaking your bank. A lot of time, when the workforce, when our employees are not engaged in the right way, they are really spending time in doing things that are not valuable to the business. As you can see in your screen right now, based on several surveys, a huge percentage of the workforce do not understand what is the business strategy of the company, and therefore they do not know how they can do their work in a way that it brings value to help achieve some of these business goals. And many companies also do not know how to use its workforce to the fullest potential. Every employee is a talent. If you can know their strength and you can know how to engage them in the right way, based on a survey by PwC, in the next 10 years, almost 75% of your workforce will be born after the year 1980. And this is a generation used to using social media. It is a digital age where they are used to receiving feedbacks and giving feedbacks and engaged in a different way. So is your business ready to survive this next 10 years and engage this new workforce in a meaningful way such that they will not quit but just stay in your organization and continue to be productive and effective in the way they work? A lot of companies has performance review process within their organization. It is normally a twice a year or once a year exercise where the managers and the employee would sit down and go through a list of checklists to tick and just mutually give some responses. But many companies do not take this seriously. It is a HR department's task that needs to be completed, and most employees and managers are only obliged to do it because they were told to do it. In our survey, almost 80% of the companies that we have reviewed say that the performance appraisal system today does not add any value. A performance appraisal system is only valuable if it encourages the employees to improve on areas where he or she is weak in, that it results in a development plan for employees who needed to improve in certain areas. It is only effective if it gives the employees feedbacks that help him or her to become more productive in his or her job scope. And if you do not have a system to help with this performance and appraisal system, and if your employees doesn't even know what goals are set up for them or how these goals are meaningful to the organization or achieving the organization's strategic goals, then the performance appraisal system is just time wasted. So how do we help companies make effective use of time during a performance appraisal process? So I'd like to introduce the Performance Reward for SMB solution by SAP SuccessFactors. It comprises of the core area of the employee profiles, which is a repository of all the employee records such as name, email addresses, IDs, and other attributes that's of the job. It also has a goal management tool and a performance review management tool. This helps companies to set up goals for the employees in a meaningful way, achievable, attainable, as well as time-bound. And the most important thing is this system helps the whole organization to align its goals to the strategic direction and strategic goals that the leaders have set up for the company. Goals cascading is important because every employee want to feel that whatever they're doing in their day-to-day work contributes to the strategic direction that the bosses or the president has set up. If I know by doing something and achieving my small little goals are helping my manager, and my manager in turn help the president, then it will be meaningful for me to put more effort in what I'm doing every day. And that is the start of a healthy and positive employee engagement framework. performance appraisal is so important. It is not just an exercise of ticking boxes. It is a chance where the managers can coach its subordinates by giving valuable feedback in a way where the employees can accept it. 360 feedbacks and assessment is also important just to avoid biasness towards certain people. This particular solution also comes with a light version of the compensation module. And together, these 5 functions would deliver goals and performance management, a complete set of employees' records, as well as compensation that is linked to the performance review upgrading. What we're trying to do with this package is to give the opportunity for businesses to drive a pay-for-performance behavior. And because only when we compensate people for the right behavior, you can create a healthy and engaging and positive culture within your organization, which is productive and effective. And that translates into growth and business outcome. The package that we're introducing right now is for small and medium businesses. For those with 100 users, 200 users, or even 300 users. This price that you can see on the screen is an annual cost that will be paid for this amount of people. For example, if you're a company with 100 users, you pay 13,000 Singapore dollars per year to use this system. For that price, it comes with setting up of the whole employee profile, putting all the employee records in there so that your employees can update their information on their own without going through HR or IT. It's a painless and easy process that need not involve so many people. Goals management, goals planning, performance review, career development, as well as it comes with some basic analytics and reporting capability. You notice that the compensation module is not described in this scope because for this price, it delivers the basic module of a performance appraisal system only. The compensation module is included, but the delivery of the compensation module is on a case-by-case basis because the compensation framework and system work differently for different companies. So we cannot just generalize everything into one price. So who would need this solution? Typically, a company which is fast growing in terms of revenue, in terms of geographical coverage, would need a system like that to help them manage its workforce so that everyone understands how they're measured. Because someone mentioned, if you can't measure something, you cannot manage that something. And so if we can accurately set up meaningful goals for our employees and let them know that they will be measured in that way, we are more assured that that employee will definitely drive results based on the goals that he was given. So if you have a system today, which is a manual one, now is the time and the opportunity for you to think about embarking on this innovation with a very, very little cost outlay. Okay, so now I will go into some examples from SMB companies in this region on how they use a system like that to improve their employees' engagement as well as productivity. Usually we look at companies and you see that even small companies with 100 or 50 employees struggle with engaging the employees because everyone, needs to be engaged in a different way. It's very difficult to lay a certain standardized process on how employees are measured. But with a system, this is possible now. And in this example is Korean Film Council with 100 employees. They're in the sports and entertainment industry. They want to make sure that the right personnel are in there to assist the filmmakers in production and the whole entire process. They want to make sure that every individual has goals that are meaningful goals that are set up and performance are measured against those goals. They feel that in an organization right now, everyone, there's no standardized measurement for everyone, and therefore there's inefficient transparency, and that breeds discontent within the organization. Different departments are just not contented with how things are run. There's a lot of complaints within the organization because the way things are measured are very different. There's no equality. So the solution is this company has embarked on the goals and performance management solution, very simple solution that help the company set up goals for its employees, and everyone understands that they have to deliver upon the goals. There's no two ways about it. And for that, the company could help the employees understand the connection between the mission that's set up by the president as well as how the individual goal is going to contribute to that. And this solution is flexible and is also very accessible. It is already mobile enabled, and therefore your employees can look at their goals and look at their own employees' profile and data and information via the mobile devices. The next example I'd like to bring up is this company called Sport and Spine Rehab. It's an American company with 50 employees. There is a YouTube video that you can look at where the founder himself spoke about how the solution helped his organization become more engaged. They were looking for a web-based solution that can be set up in no time, painlessly and easy to maintain. Doesn't require IT to get involved, and is available real-time and available 24/7 anywhere. And they found the solution in SAP SuccessFactors. The result of that is better employees engagement because every employee understands how his or her goal is aligned with the corporate strategy, and that drives productivity and 25% increase in their revenue growth. And they also use this system over a very short span of time has created a pay-for-performance culture because the high performers are rewarded, and that leads to employee satisfaction as well as employee retention. The next example is Qpera, which is a 440 employee company in professional services arena. It's a very quick, very fast-growing consulting company, and it needs an HR software to help manage its fast-growing workforce. It already has a lightweight SAP ERP system internally, and this solution from SAP SuccessFactors integrates directly to their core system right now. And for that, they realized that they gain much more efficiency in terms of their HR processes, more transparency, time saving for everyone, and all the users find it easy to use because the solution is so simple and very engaging. And what this means is it frees up time for everyone to think about strategic initiatives to help the company grow and help the company compete better with its competitors. These are some examples that we pull from the region as well as overseas in US and EMEA. Right now, I'd like to bring up a few examples that are closer to home. In Singapore, these are the SMB companies that are using this solution right now. Court Life, BW Maritime, Mitsui, Robinsons, Biosensor, Knowledge Universe. These are some SMB customers from Singapore that's using performance and goals solution to help engage its workforce. Other companies from Malaysia, Thailand, Philippines, and Indonesia includes U Mobile, Tanchong Motors, the Minor Group, IM Consulting, APM, Shaw Solution, and Astra Honda Motors. As you can see, SAP is not a complex and expensive solution to own. With subscription-based, cloud-based solution, every company can afford and leverage the technology and innovation to help manage its workforce to gain efficiency and productivity. Imagine that everyone in your company knows exactly what the company's strategy and objectives are and how they can do what they can do and how they can do their job to value add to that strategy. That will bring up everybody's attention, and everybody will feel more engaged in what they're doing. It brings meaning to even the most mundane task that they need to do every day. 5 reasons why you should consider this solution for your business today. The success factors HCM solution is positioned as leaders by many industry analysts. This is not a second-tier product. This is a world-class, top-of-the-line solution we're talking about. And the other reason why you should consider is we definitely need to set meaningful goals and measure employees based on those goals to drive a healthy culture within the organization, because anything that cannot be measured cannot be managed. A performance-driven culture ensures business results. And this solution comes with a setup wizard, step-by-step, step-through setup help is given, and so that the HR department itself can go through this and set it up themselves without relying on anybody, especially IT or any other department. And for this price that we are presenting in today's session, it includes coaching and training session so that the HR team understands how this can be set up very, very quickly. These are some of the research in the industry that shows that SuccessFactors SAP is in the top of the leaders quadrant. And this is the look and feel of a setup wizard. It has a video, it has tutorial, as well as explanation and documentation on how this can be done. Now I'll pass the time over to my colleague John to give you a live demo on how this solution will look like to an end user.
I'm the SuccessFactors Solution Consultant. I'm based in Singapore. And in the next 10 to 15 minutes, I'm going to show you how SuccessFactors can help you accomplish and support everything that Julie has just mentioned, and how you have heard in the beginning of the experience session that the rising cost of labor, how they are keeping the C-levels up at night, how we can accomplish the company's strategic objectives by optimizing the cost and employees' productivity, improving them within SuccessFactors. So now what you can see on my screen is the look and feel of a manager or an employee when they first log on to SuccessFactors. This is a very simple and beautiful tile-based interface that contains all the things that are relevant to the managers or the employees when they first log on to it. So she can immediately see the to-do tiles, which immediately calls out to her what are the things that she needs to do. She can immediately personalize it, sort it by the types of things that she needs to accomplish, and then immediately fulfill them. For example, is the appraisal that she has to do for her employees, for who and who are the upcoming ones. I'm going to go more into that in a short while. That my team tile, where a manager can immediately take action and find out more about the employee by going into their profile, the employee profiles, the objectives that is set for the employee, the social collaboration tool, and so on. We also have our GEM, which is our social collaboration tool, where you can immediately get involved in the organization's activities and start to bridge conversations across the organizations around the globe. Your info tile, which you can use to share information about yourself and access your public profile as well. So very quickly, SuccessFactors is actually a system of record. As Julie has mentioned, it stores all your employee profile. We have introduced a public profile for all employees that you can choose to use or not, where employees are able to have access to modify their own profiles and share with the organizations who they are and what they do and how they can help. They can easily configure the background images, their immediate profile photos, and have control over them based on the employee self-services features they have. The badges as well, if they have done an excellent job, a manager or a peer in the organization can immediately give them a kudos and grant them badges on their profile screen. And quickly as that, we can access the organization chart. When Julie has mentioned that SuccessFactors is the single source of record for all your employee data and information, what we can see is automatically we are able to get the organization chart automatically populated in front of the screen like this. Color being the sales manager in the organization, can immediately see who her immediate peers are, who their direct reports, who their bosses are, which is Daniel, and immediately take action on their employees if they like to have access to their immediate employee profile. So depending on what are the permissions that you have granted to the managers or the HR administrators, they have access to the personal profile of the employee and employment information as well. So we are very flexible in the process where we allow you to capture information within SuccessFactors system the way you want it. For example, the first name, last name, the title, who the managers are, the vision, the phone number, and so on. You can also access this same information on your mobile phones. We're talking about the iOS, iPhones, iPad, your Android phones, and today we have BlackBerry as well. So we have access to the full range of the digital PE file equivalent on SuccessFactors employee profile. So very quickly is that we have a full system of record within SuccessFactors of the employee, the organization chart. I've also showed you the landing page. So how can we then now as a manager set the goals of the employees of the direct report so that everybody is aligned at the start of the year to know what they are responsible to achieve. And for a sales organization, it's very simple. They have a target, they have some financial targets, and they also have to be, they also have some other KPIs that they need to achieve to help their managers as well. So I'm logged on as Kala Grant. What we can see in the goal plan that's set up for the employees are the four categories. One is the financial category, the customer category, the internal business processes, learning and growth. We can easily create goals as what you see over here. So let me just reduce and improve the real estate space to help you easily understand and look at the goals. So we can, as a manager, you have full access to how you want to view your goals and objectives and set them. You can immediately modify them if you have created it at the start of the year and they are not relevant. I can immediately modify it by clicking on edit goals. Set the right expectations and setting goals that are easily attainable and measurable, and then do a save change. I can immediately also get to see who are the goals aligned to, how my goals are helping my boss to achieve them, and how it's also cascaded down and aligned to my employees who are helping me to achieve part of the goals in the process. I can see the different weightages aligned to every single goal that I've created, how far we have been today in achieving the goals, what is the status, are we on track, are we behind them, have we not even started working on it. So as easy as that, we have a nice overview of all our objectives on one single page that we can use to add and update the goals. So I can also immediately create goals that I want to do it that I can do manually, or use the goal wizard to help me to achieve it. This is the goal wizard that we offer to our SuccessFactors customers. It's the smart goal wizard that helps you to create specific, measurable, attainable, and relevant goals which are time bound. So SuccessFactors allows our customers to leverage on our 500 goal wizard library that allows them to immediately create goals based on the suggested library objectives like this. We get to see a nice pop-up that immediately suggests what are the goals that are more easily created, that are more specific. For example, let's say if a financial goal could be increase investors aware, okay, maybe increase number of qualified leads by 10% by a certain date. So 2015. So how will then we measure the goal? A suggested measurement is also added in that process. The next two steps are very relevant and attainable. We want to remind the managers that goals that you are creating over here and matrix, remind them that this is within the capacity to reach, and if they are not, let's go back and review them. And goals also should be relevant. We want to make sure that every goal is consistent with all the other goals and fully aligned with the goals of the managers and the company as well. So very quickly, let's add a time to it and bound the goal, because goals that are not measurable are not easily attainable as well. So what we want to do, we want to create very specific goals that are easily attainable. So if they are not attainable immediately, the system is smart enough to flag them out on the screen. So as easy as that, we have created a goal like this in a financial category, and we can immediately cascade them or align them to our bosses and quickly add them to the screen like this. If there are any last minute change you need to do to change the matrix and goal name, you can feel free to do that, or change the weightages as well. So let's go ahead and make it on track. And we can add mouse and sub goals to help in the objective settings process. So as easy as that, we have seen the goals that have been aligned to our managers. We have also aligned it down to our employees. They'll be the ones helping me to in achieving part of the goals. So it help the organizations and my employees know what they are supposed to achieve in the process. So in summary, we have told you now how many our employees are more aware of how their goals impact the organization, how it's easy to create the goals based on the predefined goals in the library. Now Carla is going ahead 6 months down the road and monitor the performance against the goals that are set up. So with this module picker, I can immediately go into the performance module and have access to the goals that we have created and immediately go through the performance appraisal process. So within success factors, we can get anywhere in the system just by clicking on the module picker. What I can see on the screen right now is the performance appraisal period, where I get to see as a manager all my direct reports on the left, measured against the current performance appraisal process and where all the employee steps are currently at. I can see also the due dates that are set up for every single step, which will be calling out to me later in the to-do task if I'm late to submit, or I get a reminder that this is due, this is what I need to accomplish later. So I can see every employee by the scores of their self-assessments. If I've evaluated them as a manager, I can see the score immediately on the front of the screen. But for now, I want to review Betsy and take a look at the appraisal form and how I can add comments to drive conversations and further help them improve. So right now, this is the performance appraisal screen for Betsy. So it's a very straightforward, easy to use performance appraisal process, which a lot of companies in the past have been using papers to replace as a replacement. So we can easily see as a manager, what is the overall score that we have weighted for the employees in one single place? What are the incomplete areas? What is the current ranking of my current employee against the rest of the employees that are rated or not rated? What is the competency gap assessment that is automatically populated in real time for me to have a conversation with the employee, and what are the areas that I need to support you as a manager to help you improve in your career and your career progression as well. A roadmap of where we are at in the current manager assessments. I also get to see immediately what are the goals that are set up at the start of the year. I get to see the competencies, the core values. I can immediately also see, give ratings to how I feel the employee has been performing the last 6 to 12 months, and immediately give comments to substantiate the ratings that I've given. We also understand that a lot of managers are not HR trained. So we have added great tools like Writing Assistant over here to, in 3 areas, improve, meets and exceeds under the competencies of entrepreneur thinking. So if I want to help Betsy in the area of entrepreneur thinking, I can immediately click on the suggested library of Writing Assistant, immediately place a quote in the comment here to help deliver comprehensive feedback to the employee, and also subsequently give advice, coaching advice for development of the employee as well. So by doing a place quote, immediately the suggestive feedback and coaching advice is placed immediately in the comments field, so we can help complete evaluations quickly and help managers who are not HR trained give relevant and specific comments to help encourage employees to improve later in the year or in the next year when they start the next financial quarter. So there are also other great tools like Legal Scan, which I don't have enough time to show you today. There are writing assistants which I've just showed you. Very quickly, we can add in more comments, how this person could have been done better, and then drive a conversation with the employee and immediately save and proceed to the next step, which is the one-to-one meeting with the employees later. So we can, at any point in time, the managers have access to the performance appraisal system, the ability for the managers to rate the employees fairly without biasness, provide a rich feedback to coach and improve the employees, and engage employees on a regular system drive dialogue and not annually or twice a year. So overall, what I've shown you so far within success factors is how employees now can have a measurable and specific goals. They know what they have to achieve, and who can they engage, and how can they be made feel as a valuable employee in the organization. Overall, what we can see from just performance and goals is how your company is can actually increase your high performers and reduce the risk of turnover of key players, decrease your low performers, and make the organization more productive. So with that, I'm going to hand over the time back to Julie.
Thank you, John, for that presentation and demonstration. As you can see, this is a very intuitive, easy to use, a click and drag and just key in your messages. Everyone can use this system. The reason why we design a system this way is a system is of no value to the organization if nobody uses it. This system is designed for each and every employee so that we can engage and interact with each and every one of them to make sure that everyone is performing at its fullest potential and at the highest employee satisfaction. This solution is a SAP SuccessFactors cloud-based, subscription-based solution which does not require you to invest heavily in hardware resources, in IT setup, lengthy and complicated implementation process. It's the quick subscription-based, turn it on and get going kind of a solution. And you can draw parallel with any iPhone or Android application where you download the application and you start using it just on the fly. And so SAP understands that business faces a lot of challenges in the market today with quick changing of business climates, competition, and the way new consumers and new customers, younger customers are demanding of the business. And therefore, in SAP, we put our innovation into areas to help our customers run their business in a much more efficient and competitive way so that our customers can grow its business at the optimal level. Thank you for your attention and your time this afternoon. The next step from here is if you like more information and you want to talk to someone about the possibility of having another demonstration or even a trial of this software, please contact the people on the screen right now.